Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everybody, wherever you are. I'm from Hanoi. Two reasons I accepted the invitation to have the presentation today. One is today I have no lecture. And the second is FSM is my favorite topic. We are hosting FSM 3 in 2015. And now already 7 years passed, and something has changed. Something still stay in the same place, but the country is developing fast, and FSM also is changing. So I would like to share some information, like updates with you. And we don't have much participants today, but I think this is a pretty good number of participants, good audience for in-depth discussion. So I will talk about 20 minutes, and then floor will be open for the discussion. Yeah, you can give me a question through microphone, through chat, etc. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, if you start presentation mode, so now we see the PowerPoint backend. Yes, that looks good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will talk about the urban sanitation, because today I will talk mostly about the FSM in cities, not in rural areas. They're quite different. I'm talking about some treatment, mostly treatment options, and some case studies. Case study includes studies and also some on the field projects, and some of the recommendations. Let's talk about the overall picture of urban sanitation in Vietnam nowadays. We have 864 cities and towns, and cities and towns are being created because fast urbanization process, and they are being upgraded from the category smaller to the higher, bigger scale. 38% of population are living in urban areas. The overall picture of the sanitation coverage is 70%, but the treatment coverage is only 16% of collected wastewater. We have about 130 wastewater projects in urban areas. Half of them are already in operation, and half of them are under construction or planning, and the number is still increasing, aiming at the treatment of more wastewater. 90% of households have septic tank in the cities. But in most of cases, only black wastewater go through the septic tank, where gray water is directly discharged to the sewer. From our calculation, 4% of septic is properly treated. This is from the calculation of total capacity of properly designed and operating septic treatment systems. So there are different wastewater treatment plants photo in the Vietnamese cities. Most of systems are combined, except the sanitation systems in new urban areas and in some selected cities. Combined and separate, very different in the setting, and in the separate system, we can avoid septic tanks and we can eliminate the fecal sludge problem. But in some urban areas, even the new urban area, people still have the customs to use septic tank even in the separate systems. There are some challenges in urban sanitation. The key challenges are urban flooding, especially in this season, in this rainy season. Sanitation coverage, source of funding. Now we have less and less ODA for wastewater projects. Cost recovery, as in many other countries, especially developing countries. The household connection. The household connection is very important component, and this component is being more and more considered, taking experience from the past. And the last is fake and sludge management. This photo shows a separate system, and this household connection where people have to break the floor and the pipelines go directly to the sanitary wares. And in this case, septic tank is avoided. So this is a scheme of the combined sewage system in existing urban areas where we have septic tank receiving black wastewater, and from where we have from time to time to empty the tanks using vacuum trucks to the treatment site. That is combined sewage system. And in separate system, you see the connection directly. Sewer lines go to the sanitary waste. Of course, we have to deal with every household, break the floor, and get wastewater like here to the junction box in front of the house. This is a SFD for Hanoi City, where you see the red arrows as seen with a big value of untreated wastewater and fecal sludge dumped without treatment. This has been done a few years ago, but the picture is still similar. So our mission is to have red arrows to make them smaller and to utilize the available resources from these lines. Talking about the water and wastewater tariffs, you see we still have fairly low water tariffs, and wastewater tariff is only from 10 to 25% of the water bill, and that is only part of the operation and maintenance expenditures. So the rest should be covered, subsidized by the city budget, and it affects the fecal sludge activities in the cities. Talking about the septic tank, that is the most common facilities in urban areas. They can be made from bricks or plastics, or from FRP, bricks or concrete is very common. And most of septic tanks, because the space is very limited in the cities, so most of septic tanks are built in the basement, where they have the garden. They build the septic tank behind the house, but in many cases they are in the basement. We already understand the legal framework for fecal sludge management is very important. So in 2014, the government has issued a decree on drainage, sewage, and wastewater treatment. And there are already special articles on the sludge management and fecal sludge management, and already encourage resource recovery. We have the new law on environment in 2020, where fecal sludge is also being seriously considered, and it should be properly collected and treated, and they are classified as a hazardous waste. And for the hazardous waste, only companies having treatment license can provide this service, this business. This is at the central level. In the local level, only some cities have the local regulation specifically on fecal sludge management. I will mention about that later. For utilization, we have some technical standards setting the requirements for the quality of the compost product, including compost made from the fecal sludge, on heavy metals, on the pathogens. Now there are some options we are applying for fecal sludge treatment. First is co-composting. This is a co-composting station in Hanoi, where solid waste from markets is brought to the station, and fecal sludge is co-composted together. This is a product after maturation. Composting is used for industrial plantation. The second option is drying lagoons. This is in Ho Chi Minh City. This is a private company. They provide the service of emptying, transportation, and disposal. And they rent some land in the solid waste in the landfill complex, and they have some drying lagoons here, and the dry sludge is sent as a material for composting. Another option is drying beds, and in most of cases, this drying beds is built together with a wastewater projects or landfill projects. So this is in Quang Ninh, where we have Hạ Long Bay. This drying bed, especially built for fecal sludge. This is a receiving station. These beds also can receive the sludge from the activated sludge nearby plant. In Haiphong City, we have a stabilization pond. So after treatment in the stabilization ponds, the fecal sludge is mixed with the organic waste again and do the composting. This station is built under the World Bank project about 15 years ago. It's still under operation. We start to consider the mechanical dewatering, and besides the conventional mechanical dewatering machines like a filter press or screw dewatering machines, etc. Now we have this multi-disc sludge dewatering machine, which work quite efficiently. So this is dry sludge, and because the fecal sludge contain a lot of water and very difficult to dewater. Without a polymer, you have to add a lot of polymer, cationic, of course, and it increase to some extent the cost. But then you have less than 75% humidity, the water content in the dewater sludge. Another option is anaerobic digestion. This is in Hanoi City, where the septic tank sludge from the public toilets is brought here by the city urban environment company, Urenco, and stored here before it's sent to the UASB. And the liquid phase is further sent to the stabilization pond. The solid phase, is sent to the co-composting. In the cities where there are wastewater treatment plants, fecal sludge can be treated together either with wastewater or with the sludge generated from the sewage treatment plant. This is a Buôn Mê Thuột and Đà Lạt city, where fecal sludge is brought into the receiving chamber, and in Buôn Mê Thuột city is being treated together with wastewater. The challenge for this option, even though it doesn't bring much organic loading to the wastewater treatment plant, but very high nitrogen ammonia loading. When septic tank sludge receive only black wastewater, very high nitrogen ammonia concentration in the fecal sludge. And if the sewage treatment plant cannot handle the nitrogen in the effluent, cannot meet the standard. So that is one challenge we have to be aware of. And in Buôn Mê Thuột city, they use technology of waste sterilization ponds for wastewater treatment. And you know, ponds have a limited capacity for nitrogen removal. So that's why in the second phase of the plant upgrading, they have to consider AO process for a better nitrogen removal. Similar situation in Đà Lạt city. Co-treatment with sewage sludge is an option with more advantages. So there is a drying bed for sewage sludge, and after drying, the sludge can be sent to here for composting. And in Đà Lạt city, this treatment plant can sell the co-compost product to the flower farms. In Đà Lạt city, there are a lot of flowers farms, and there is a need in the market of a fertilizer. We did a few years ago a study on the market demand to see how we can make use of a value chain in fecal sludge. And we conducted a study in some provinces, Sơn La, Bắc Ninh, and Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. And we found there are more than 10 options of utilization of nutrients from fecal sludge. But most feasible options in these three studied cities are fertilizers, fuels for brick production, or black soldier fly larva for aquaculture, and again, solid fuel for brick production. So locally made brick workshops can receive the fecal sludge as fuel. The treatment plant in Hanoi is under upgrading, and the city is calling private sector to take part in. The station will be upgraded from 50 to 500 cubic meter per day. That is pretty enough for amount of fecal sludge generated from the city. Now it can handle only 10%. The plant is going to have a mechanical dewatering, and the dewatered sludge will be sent for composting material for fertilizer. And the format of the private sector participation designed is build, lease, and transfer. The city budget will pay to that company besides the treatment fee for each truck come to the station. And this is quite interesting and new method of fecal sludge realization, fecal sludge treatment. This is a FSM project in Bến Tre carried out by East Meets West Foundation. This is a quite interesting project. The foundation works a lot with local authorities and involve a lot of stakeholders, including city authority, the public utility urban environment company Urenco, and private firms for collection and transportation, women's union who are working with the households for septic tank utilization, and working also directly with households. The treatment station includes settling and drying beds mostly, and then leachate is sent to the treatment station. As you see here, there are two special trucks, big and small, for fecal sludge collection in the city. This is drying bed, and the leachate is treated here, and then it's sent to the waste diversion pond. And this system is built for leachate treatment for the landfill. So the fecal sludge treatment component is a bin nearby, operated by the same company, Urenco. And besides leachate treatment, they have also leachate treatment station for the dumping site, for the landfill. And the city has recently issued the fecal sludge management regulation covering all the activities, emptying, transportation, treatment, disposal, and roles of the stakeholder, responsibilities, etc. So that is a quite interesting project, and is still going on. There are some things, improvements are needed, but this is a quite interesting project. Another recent study we did is to look the possibility to recover the resource from the integrated waste management in the city. We call it a green city, where bio-waste, septic tank sludge, and wastewater can be treated together at the integrated waste treatment station of the city, where energy recovered can be utilized, and wastewater and fertilizer and so on can be utilized for the city. And our findings is 1 person, 1 year, fecal sludge generated can create 1.5 kilowatt hour. Besides wastewater, the embodied chemical energy can generate 15 kilowatt hour per person, and organic waste 159 kilowatt hour per person per year. We are not talking about the heat. We are talking only about the electricity generation potential. And on this, we took the case study of one district of Hanoi. So to come to the conclusion, I would like to highlight some points here. Besides the central level legal framework, we need also local level, either provincial or city FSM regulation. It should include enforcement for regular discharging. Otherwise, septic tank will lose its function, and the control of fees should be there, either public utility or private companies providing services, but the fee should be controlled. Second, the urban sanitation planning is needed, where FSM component should be included. 3, for the stakeholders, we think the local public utility play a very important role, and if they are working properly, it's easily to include the FSM component into, and even it's much easier than to create a new utility or to create own favor condition for private sector to come in. Private sector can take some part, can handle some components, working under the control and coordination of the local authority. And at least in the first phase of the FSM project, the subsidiary is still needed by the city budget. And there are different options for treatment and nutrient utilization.
We can now get to the Q&A. There was one question from, thank you first of all for the very comprehensive presentation. I think there was really a lot in there, very comprehensive overview covering lots of aspects. A lot was about treatment and reuse, and loads of like interesting case studies that you presented and opportunities that there are. So the first question came from Paresh, already kind of like midway during your presentation. Paresh wanted to know about the quality control regime.
Okay, thank you for this good question. From the regulation, we have, as I mentioned, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development had issued a technical standard for the compost fertilizer that also cover the fertilizer made from the fecal sludge, where you have to meet the standards for heavy metals and pathogens like Salmonella and Hamil X, etc. That is a regulation. And for the leachate, we have also special effluent standards for leachate. For the control regime, that belong to the Department of Nature and Resources Environment in the province. So each project should do the regular monitoring every 3 months, and then submit the report to the Department of Environment. And they do also from time to time checking. But for the liquid phase, the control can be done easier. For the solid phase, the control is made in a less frequency. So only some big plants can do that, but the small plants, the situation is worse, I would say. So regulations are there, but in implementation, in different conditions.
So it depends on the local context.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was also the comment more than a question from Virachit, that it depends on the individual contexts in different places. Very technical question from Bruce. Is there a biological treatment used to remove pathogens from the dry byproducts before being used as fertilizers in the communities? Other than mechanical drying and solar drying processes. Could you answer that?
Yeah. Dry byproducts, fertilizer. Yes, we have a problem of pathogens, especially Hamil X, in the collected sludge from the drying beds. You know that the storage time play a very important role. If we don't have the intensive treatment like solar drying or lime treatment or wetland stabilization, etc. So I think the most feasible way for the low cost vision is to provide enough storage time, like a maturation composting process. That would be cheaper. In the high radiation, solar radiation areas, we can utilize that. But in the north of Vietnam, for example, we have just few, like 1/3 or 1/4 number of days in the year sunshine. Then we cannot use that technology. So maturation storage time is the easiest and most feasible way, I think.
Okay, thank you. Another one from Paresh about septic tanks and about how often they are emptied.
Mm-hmm.
Is there,
this
could
is
that, I mean, yeah, I guess it's also different from place to
question.
place.
Yeah, and assuming the households are aware of the septic tanks, then the frequency depends on the volume of the tanks. And volume of the tanks depends on the size of the house, because they place the tank in the foundation. So the people who can afford, they want to be in the big septic tank, and then it takes 10 years for them to empty. Yet for the smaller tanks, you have to make it to empty it more regularly. The average number we found from our surveys on 2,000 households in 3 cities is 5 years, 5 to 6 years. But we recommend in our technical guidelines is from 2 to 3 years. And all the calculations are made based on the figure 2-3 years.
Okay, thank you. There are no more questions in the chat, but we have, oh, okay, there's one more coming. You can read it yourself. It's about co-treatment of fecal sludge and other organic solid waste. Is there are there any projects in this field in Vietnam?
Yes, if we are looking at the organic waste treatment, organic ones, that is the main reason. Then we can have a look at the fecal sludge as a co-substrate to utilize, because from our calculation, solid waste, organic solid waste contributes much more energy or materials recovered compared to the fecal sludge collected and treated. So if we plan to bring the fecal sludge there, we can utilize. So the major investment will depend on the organic waste part, not fecal sludge. But we can use that chance if we do the planning and organization well.
Got it. Well, I think the question from Peter is, well, it's very general. What's the future of fecal sludge management? Where I think you already pointed out on your last summarizing slide, like a few things that need to happen, like more regulations and standards, for example, and other aspects. But anything else you would like to reply to this on the future of fecal sludge management?
That is also a headache when we are dealing with the combined sewage system for safely managed on-site sanitation system in the city, because we have to live with septic tanks in coming decades. You cannot easily eliminate them. Septic tanks are there and people get used to have them, and they build the septic tank together with the building the house already 100 years. And even in the separate system, they still build the septic tank. Just for sure, they have nothing floating in the outlet. And there are also some misconnection between separate between the drainage, stormwater and wastewater, etc. So septic tank is there, and currently now we are preparing the technical guideline for ministry to design and build the septic tanks, and there are more and more prefabricated septic tanks, which follow the dimensions and the assess piping, etc. Now problem is in the awareness of the households, where they buy and build properly the septic tank, from the market. They can buy, but the connection is difficult because normally many projects are dealing with the big sewers and treatment plant and neglect the household connection component. And many projects are working under capacity after completion. So connection costs more than unit cost per capita. If you divide the cost of the treatment plant and the sewage and drainage network to the number of households, you see $500, $300 per household. But household connection already costs with that amount already. Household connection is important in my point of view. And then septic tank or on-site facilities will play a role.
Thank you. More and more questions coming in. To be fair, we're just taking them one by one. And the next one from Andres is, yeah, something we haven't yet talked about that much, about sanitation workers. He wants to know, do you have any measures, protocols, or regulations to ensure that the emptiers and the workers at the treatment plants have adequate occupational health and safety?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very important. I agree. For the public utility, they very much take care of it. Urban environment company, but for the private firms, where they considering, to minimize every expenses, all the expenses, then the occupational health and safety and etc. are being cared in the less extent. So the requirements are there, but I would say there are different implementation, and it happens differently from public to private companies, I would say. With the East Miss West Foundation in the Benchair project, we are preparing the guidelines where work safety is one separate chapter. We are highlighting this for the workers in the manual, and it requires also, besides control, it requires also the training and so on.
Okay, great, thank you. The next one is a more technical question again. When you're reusing sludge as a fertilizer, have you ever assessed the nutrient contents of the fertilizer and the different parameters, macro and micronutrient content? And yeah, you see the question: organic matter, heavy metal content.
We can share the papers we wrote. We did some studies. Few years ago, we had quite a comprehensive study together with colleagues from Sandek, EVAC. We did a lot of analysis, and we did some publication. We are happy to share with you.
So, because there were previous questions also about sharing the slides. So if that's okay for you, then I suggest that you send me your slides and the study you just mentioned and anything else that might be of interest, and then I will send a follow-up email to all attendees, and probably also include your email address so people could follow up with you directly on these pretty specific questions. Oh, there's your email. Great. Next one. Pardon?
No, Paresh gave the question.
Yeah.
Practices management of supernatant from septic tank. Yeah. Shall I go?
Yeah. If you want to take that, then yes.
Yeah, that relates to my previously mentioned issue, household connection. In the city, if we have a sewage and drainage system then the effluent from septic tank goes there to the drains without treatment, or to the sewer lines, to the centralized treatment system. And we have about 70% coverage of sewage drainage system in Vietnamese cities. Of course, it's different from Hanoi, big Ho Chi Minh City, big cities, to the smaller cities. There are different situations, but the outlet goes there to the sewer lines, and then it's being treated again. And that also create problem of the C to N ratio. You know that septic tank removes BOD, and nitrogen is not removed. So to the centralized treatment system, you have low BOD and still high ammonium. So C to N ratio is not enough for biological treatment processes. And some treatment plants have to buy sugar, molasses to add for activated sludge process maintaining. In the area where sewage still networks still not serving, then it goes directly, normally go to the water bodies. In the central part, we have mostly a sandy soil, like Da Nang City, for example. Then we have a soak pit, and effluent from septic tank goes there. Of course, this is not good if you have a groundwater source. So that is again household connection problem. So septic tank and household sanitation connection is it should be one important component of the sewage and drainage project.
Yeah.
Success stories.
I think that refers to his previous question on the nutrient content. So you already.
Yeah, we will share papers.
Yeah, I think that would be good if we could include this in the follow-up now. Wow, I mean, those were some very good questions. Are there any more questions? Anything else anybody would like to discuss? But I think that was a good comprehensive round, touching on different points of the presentation. And as mentioned, we will send the follow-up note with the slides and other materials you could share. One question from me personally is just wondering about how important like national networks are and what role they could be. Could you just say one or two words about the Vietnam Water Supply and Sewerage Association, and what are the activities and how do you bring different stakeholders together?
Okay, thank you for reminding about the association, where I'm working part-time as a vice president. The association has 300 members. They are water and wastewater companies in the cities, and wastewater companies or urban environment companies often dealing with the fecal sludge. The water supply in cities in Vietnam now is mostly operated by equitized companies. Only in two largest cities, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, are a state-owned company. All the other only the equitized. And the process of equitization and changing for the better service is happening very intensively. The wastewater situation is a bit behind. We have, as you heard from my first slide, only 18% of wastewater treated in cities, and the ratio we are trying to increase. Now the association, together with the Ministry of Construction, is trying to prepare the special law in water supply and sewage. so we already have a law of environment. We only have of the law of construction, but it's not enough for water sector. So the National Assembly has agreed to prepare the separate law for water and wastewater, and we are playing a key role in its preparation. So that is a mission for coming 3 years. We are open to cooperate with you because we need the international experience sharing for this important mission.
Sounds great. We should be in touch about this as well. Are there any, just since we're at it, are there any like regional Southeast Asia regional associations?
We have quite a strong network sharing the experience, and we have every year Viet Water, Thai Water, Malaysia Water show, and we are representing IWA in the country, the International Water Association. Quite active network.
Okay. That's great to hear. We should.
Gates Foundation, we had also close relationship, and the Borda also is active here. Sandek, EVAC, also our close partner.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Great to hear that. All right.
There is one question about sanitation safety plan.
Yeah. Okay.
This is an interesting thing. We did some studies together with WHO, but the real implementation requires a lot of efforts, and there are a lot of challenges. The water safety plan is intensively applied now, especially after one big accident in water supply in Hanoi City. The Prime Minister had issued a special circular on water safety plan, and most of the big water companies are applying, but sanitation safety plan is still new, is under learning and studying. Yeah.
Okay, so probably not yet any success stories to share since it's still at an early stage. Right. Well, thank you. That was a good round of questions. So I'm going to start to wrap us up for today. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Viet An, for your very comprehensive presentation.
Thank you.
A lot of ground today, and so many great examples and different case studies of progress in different fields in Vietnam. As you say, some challenges still remain, but it was good to see the positive development you also presented.
Yan, sorry, I see Miss Hương from East Miss West.
Yeah,
is among participants. If Hương want to share or can share something,
yes, please.
Hương, are you there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, there she is.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. I'm Hương and work at the West Foundation in Vietnam. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Việt Anh, for introducing my organization to share with everyone about FSM pilots in Vietnam. We beginning FSM pilots from 2017 to now, up to now. The one we funded by Gates Foundation, and Phase 2, we are funded by the Fed. Yeah, we work with local government to co-financing to contractors. FS treatment plant in Bến Tre City. Bến Tre City is small town in Mekong Delta in Vietnam. So the treatment capacity is 20 cubic meter we work with private sector and Urenco in Bến Tre to collect fecal slug and transportation to treatment plants. So and then we will work with women member to mobilizing household to entering regular entering fecal slug. We prefer the household entering frequency from 3 to 5 years per time. And then we will work with Department of Financial to develop the cost structure to FS service in Bến Tre City. Yes, yeah. Sometimes some key finding in FSM pilots in Bến Tre.
Great. Thank you for chiming in on this as well. I heard a lot before about the great work that East West Foundation is doing in Vietnam. So thank you for sharing this. Where was I? Yeah, thanks again. Thank you to everyone in the audience, to everyone who asked questions. Very good, very diverse set of questions. So it made for a very exciting Q&A session. Thanks everyone. Viadan, do you wanna say anything before I close the meeting?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to FSM Alliance for inviting me, giving me a chance after a long break due to COVID-19. And thanks for participating in this webinar. FSM is my favorite topic, so I'm ready to learn and to share. And see you again in other activities. Thank you very much.
Sounds great. Perfect. Thank you. What's up next in the Spotlight series? It's not fully confirmed yet, but the next session will likely focus on the Finnish Mondial program, which explores how financial inclusion can improve sanitation and health. So once this is fully confirmed, we will of course share the details on our usual channels. So with this, we're already past the hour. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Vietnam. Thank you, Huong. And thank you to all participants. We hope to see you again in July. See you there and wishing you all a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.